So, if you serve in children's ministry, you know that separation anxiety happens a lot. But have you ever stopped to think about what it really feels like? Because as we're going to learn today, sometimes the best way to understand how to help someone is to understand how they feel. Watch out! She does not want her mom to leave. Another fun case of separation anxiety. If only we knew what to do to help her feel better. Separation anxiety. What does that feel like? Separation anxiety is, just kidding. If you serve in children's ministry, then you already know what it is. It's a normal part of childhood development, often lasting up till age 3. But for some kids, separation anxiety can last much longer. Did you know that between 4 and 5% of children ages 7 to 11 have serious anxiety when separating from parents? And studies show that students who have intellectual disabilities are up to 9 times more likely to suffer from separation anxiety than their typically developing peers. So that's a lot of anxious kids. But you know who else is feeling anxious? Parents of children who have separation anxiety may be nervous too. They may fear that their child will have a hard time adjusting and that they may not be able to stay in the service. But many, especially parents of children who are older, also fear being judged and misunderstood. And they have this fear for good reason because often it's happened to them in the past. So let's start with this question. What does that feel like? To answer that, I want you to try something with me. If you're a parent, I want you to think about a time when your child struggled with something that most other kids didn't. Or if you don't have kids, think of a time you struggled yourself. Now remember all the advice that other people who haven't shared in your struggles gave you. Or think about those people who told you you shouldn't be struggling at all. Was that helpful? Well, the same applies here. Unless you've been a parent of a child who has serious issues with anxiety, then you don't understand what it truly feels like. So don't judge and don't give unsolicited advice. Instead, be there for the parents by being warm, acknowledging their feelings, and reassuring them. Then invite them to partner with you by asking these questions before they leave. Now let's take a look at how the kiddos might be feeling. They may be feeling alone, lost, and out of control. Have you ever felt like that? I have. And if you have too, what was it that helped you feel better? Maybe feeling understood, knowing what to expect next, and getting some control back in your life? Yeah, that sounds about right. It also sounds like this, the ABC method. So if a child is anxious, try using the ABC method. A. Acknowledge their feelings. I know you feel sad. I miss my parents too sometimes. This helps a child feel understood and less alone. B. Set the boundaries. Or in other words, explain what she can expect. Your mom and dad are in another room right now, but they'll be back after we sing and play. Helping a child understand what to expect reduces confusion. And using visuals like a first-then board, visual schedule, or visual timer can be helpful too. C. Give controlled choice between 2 preferred activities. Would you like to play with bubbles or play with blocks? Giving children a choice gives them back some feelings of control. All of these things help reduce anxiety, and the good news is, often that's all that's needed for a child to begin calming down. But sometimes a child may be too upset to even process things. So if this is the case, stay with the child and keep them safe. Try to steer them away from walls to reduce the chance of headbanging, and make sure that exits are gated or watched so that the child does not run off. The environment. Imagine sitting in a room feeling really stressed out about something. Now, imagine that someone has just sprayed stinky perfume on you, your children are arguing over the Xbox, and your spouse is loudly chewing oatmeal in your ear. How are you handling things now? Right. So when we're stressed out, or let's say we're like a child who's experiencing, separation anxiety, it turns out our environment matters too. If you want to create a calmer child, start by creating a calmer environment. Turn down the music, dim the lights, offer soothing sensory items like a weighted stuffed animal or rocking chair. And most importantly, be calm yourself. Wow, I don't know how you're feeling, but I'm feeling better already. So how about one more thing before we go? We just want you to know this. Serving in children's ministry can be tough sometimes, especially when you're dealing with things like separation anxiety. But whether a child calms down quickly or you end up having to page a parent, there's one way we hope that you do feel, and that is appreciated. Because children's ministry matters, and so do you. Thank you for doing what you do.